we need to win. We need to wield power righteously. The Christian mantra, as it comes to power, is not to forsake power, but to rule righteously. It's not to forsake rule, but to rule righteously. And so in that, I said, I want to win. I want Christians to have power, and with that power, I want it to be wielded righteously. What does that mean? It means crushing our enemies and rewarding our friends.
The end of Pride Month, the end of DEI, society reinforcing these things that we talk about as good, reinforcing not just agnostic or ethereal virtues, Christian virtues, Christian values. So when you see those four things, our enemies fired en masse, friends hired ascendant to positions of power all over, as judges, as appointments by the Senate, as vice president, money flowing to our networks, and then society reinforcing those values that those leaders and those friends and those networks are pushing, that's when you know we've made good progress. And so those are the tangible things to push for.
So when you see those things happening, that's when you know that we're making tangible progress, that we're winning. To get there, though, first step is you have to at least even want those things to happen. And right now, sadly, there are many conservatives and Christians, evangelicals especially, that don't even want those things. So like what you said, enemies fired was one of them. A woman who laments the failed attempt of Trump's assassination, and not just that. If you look at the tweet, celebrates that a Trump supporter died using his body as a human shield to protect his daughters. She celebrated that, and she gets fired. And conservatives immediately waste zero time doing everything they can to clutch, to just snatch victory out of or to snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory. They're like, we might win quickly. Is there anything that we as evangelical Christians can do to lose? And what do? They say, this is cancel culture. We don't like it, and we don't want. They start doing the ring thing. They're like, the ring needs to be thrown into the fire of Mordor. What if the left does it? What do you mean? What if the left has been doing it? That's all. They've been doing this, canceling us for 4 years and much longer than that. But just in broad daylight.
How many fathers lost their jobs over the vaccine? Fathers, not just single women.
How many fathers lost their children over transgenderism? How, like at every level, this is what they've been doing. One woman gets fired, and it wasn't just like, she literally celebrated the death of a Trump supporter who was a father, a firefighter, shielding his daughters from bullets. And she loses her job. The solution isn't to prevent that. The solution, by the grace of God, is that would multiply by 10,000.
Exactly.
We need so much more of that, which goes back to an earlier point. You can pray for hearts for revival all day long. And we should. My prayer, in addition to that, is that God would give us stomachs for revival. And you know what that prayer, essentially, what that prayer means? At some level, what it means is that we would not have female leadership. Because women aren't actually supposed to. That's a prayer God won't answer, because that's a prayer basically asking God to grant something that goes against his natural good design. Part of the reason we don't have the stomachs for revival is because women weren't supposed to. Women are supposed to think. Like when a husband comes home and says, this woman lost her job at Home Depot, the correct natural response from your wife is to say, oh, that's sad. I feel bad for her. That's good. That's a good instinct for her to have. It becomes a bad instinct, though, if she's got her own podcast and she's wearing a pantsuit and she's got a blog and 1 million followers of other suburban moms, and all of them have a vote, and all of them actually make more money than their husbands, and the court system is in their direction to where if they ever divorce their husband, they get all the stuff and they get the kids. So in a gynocracy, in a woman-led nation and culture, which is what we currently have, there's only two types of leaders: women and those who are women adjacent. That's it.
Women of both genders.
And women adjacent. So in that society, it's going to be really hard for us to get friends hired, enemies fired, those kinds of things, because those are things that men do.